In this video, I'm going to update you on the property I just closed on as I get started on a driveway to access it. After many years of waiting for this moment, I'm finally a rural landowner. I was able to close on the property that I had under contract in the last episode in about 2 weeks, and now I can get started on some prep work. The first thing I need to do is file for a driveway permit with the county. This property is off a paved county road, so I need permission from the county engineer to connect a driveway to that road. He told me that I need to fill out this form, clearly mark the location of the proposed driveway with some stakes, and he'd drive by and take a look. Luckily, he approved the location and then surprised me by saying I didn't need to install a culvert under it for drainage. That's a huge deal and something I was afraid they were going to require, which would have added a lot to my costs. Now, I chose this location for the driveway for several reasons. First, there was a break between large trees here, and I don't want to cut down any trees unless it's absolutely necessary. Second, there are already 2 driveways on the west side of my lot for the 2 neighbors on that side, so I didn't want to put a third one over there. That would have just looked dumb. And finally, the east side of the lot has a slightly higher elevation, so I'm hoping that there will be less standing water or erosion issues to deal with. Anyway, you can see where the driveway begins in red in this diagram. How it will proceed from that point depends on the trees and what route I can take that is as straight as possible while cutting down the fewest trees possible. So, once I had approval from the county, I cleared my schedule and started heading out every day for 3 or 4 hours of back-breaking manual labor. Now, I know that most of you are watching this and think I'm nuts for doing this by hand, but I'm doing it for a few reasons. First, my financial situation doesn't allow me to buy any heavy machinery, at least not right now. Maybe later in the summer I'll pick up a tractor. Second, I actually enjoy it. As I said in a previous video, this is better than any gym membership. Not only do you get physical exercise, but you get sunshine, clean air, and the satisfaction of molding and shaping a piece of land with your bare hands. And it might sound weird, but it really does give you a connection to the land on some sort of emotional and spiritual level. I know the physical labor will get old fast, but for now, this is what I'm doing. And third, even if I did buy a tractor, I don't have a secure place to keep it. I can't trailer it back and forth every day that I want to go out there and work, and I'm not going to just leave it by the side of the road. When I bought the property, it was very dense virgin forest, and there was no path to drive a tractor back off the road and out of sight, even if I was willing to do that. In between sessions of manual labor, I spent some time analyzing the best path to take for a 20-foot wide driveway that would extend to a small clearing in the center of the lot. Now, as I mentioned before, I don't want to cut down any trees if I don't have to, but unfortunately, a few had to go, like this one you see in the video. Fortunately, this was the biggest one I had to cut down. Clearing the brush and branches and saplings around this tree took a while, much longer than the actual cut itself. Now, I'm pretty new to using chainsaws and cutting down trees, so I won't show you my work. But I did take every precaution, and the tree fell exactly where I planned to drop it. Yes, I'm out of shape and out of breath. Sorry about that. Anyway, I then had to spend hours chopping up the tree and dragging off all of the logs and branches to a temporary location out of my way. But the fun part was yet to come. I knew before I bought the property that removing tree stumps would be a continual challenge. But again, I don't have any money for a stump grinder, and I don't have a place to put one even if I bought one. And paying someone to come out for a few stumps is also out of the question. So I dug this 14-inch stump out by hand. It took me almost a week because of how many roots crisscrossed the area from thorn bushes, saplings, and other trees nearby. It was insane. I learned my lesson trying to take shortcuts with the chainsaw and dulled my blade, so I stopped trying. But eventually I bought a really nice axe from Council Tool that was a much better tool for the job. I'll put an Amazon link in the video description if you guys want to check it out. Finally, after many hours of work, this is what I was left with. And you can see it's at least 4 or 5 inches below the surface. So I called that good enough and filled in the hole. I do plan to buy a stump grinder attachment for my future tractor, so I can come back to this stump in the future if I need to, if it causes problems. Now, whenever possible during this process, I tried to transplant small saplings to other areas of the property. Because the property's long and narrow, there are a couple spots where you can see through to the neighbors' lots, so I want to get some trees in those holes as soon as possible so they'll start growing for future privacy. Finally, over the course of a few weeks and dozens of hours of chopping thorn bushes, cutting down a handful of trees, digging up stumps, chopping up tree trunks, hauling off branches, and hauling at least 200 wheelbarrows of dirt, a crude driveway to the center clearing is complete. Take a look. I ended up taking out one more tree on the left here before you get to the clearing because it was a little narrow. But there was another tree about 4 feet away to the left, so it didn't really hurt much, and it'll help me as I get big trailers and shipping containers and other things back here. Obviously, the clearing will have to be enlarged, but that's the subject for another video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.